Okay, so I heard that you guys don't spend on marketing.
This is something no more traditional marketplace has ever done. When you're trying to achieve an early PMF, try and keep your spends much lower.
You were packing the orders yourself, you were up till 4 a.m. I hear that there was a bed in your office.
Each and everybody is still asked to spend a day or two in the warehouse when they join in.
Is there a reason that startups often start with Bangalore and not with a Bombay or a Delhi?
See, honestly, I shouldn't be answering this question. Food is almost done. Grocery is done. Fashion and lifestyle has already, the flywheel has started. Pharma is still left.
Is job right for me? Is entrepreneurship right for me?
When we raised our pre-seed, I think one thing a lot of our angels told us was that
Welcome to Starting From Scratch. Today we have Akshay from Slikk. Slikk is a quick com app based out of Bangalore that gets you clothes delivered to your home in under 60 minutes. Let's get right into it. Akshay, glad to have you with us today.
Hey, thanks, Hari.
So if you had to give an elevator pitch for Slikk, for anybody who doesn't know it, what would that look like?
I do this in very different scenarios, but okay, let me try it over here. I think how we define Slikk is as a curation-led quick commerce marketplace for fashion and lifestyle, which delivers products in 60 minutes. The entire focus of the company is to provide instant gratification to users around delivery, return, and refund, which allows them to do impulse purchases in a vertical category like this, which generally doesn't happen on traditional marketplaces. So that's what we're up to at Slikk right now.
So within 60 minutes, is that a fair promise to make that the delivery happens?
Yeah.
And then return is then and there, like people try it over there and then whatever they don't like, they return.
So we give both options to the users. We generally give a 7-day return timeline to the users.
Okay.
So it's not just that if you've purchased a product today, you have to return it today. I think we also give our customers the leverage of taking up to 7 days to make a return request. But as soon as you make a return request, we've just launched this feature a couple of weeks back. If you place a return request, let's say 2 days after placing an order, we'll still come to your house in 60 minutes and collect your order back and give you an instant refund at your doorstep.
Wow, that's extremely fast, and I feel like the entire try and buy premise that Slikk has. Can you just walk us through it? Like, I'm very curious. Saying, does the delivery person wait while the person is trying, and then where are they waiting? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, so the thought was simple. I think as we were discussing that offline is more impulse driven. I think one of the factors for impulse to not happen online is that the delivery timeline and the forward delivery experience is very distorted. What I mean by that is, let's say you as a user go to a traditional marketplace and you place an order for, let's say, a Nike shoe, a Soul Store t-shirt, and let's say a sports shorts from, let's say, the Mensch kind of brand. Now, each item in a dropship model is going to be shipped to you from a different location to your house. So each item is going to have a different delivery timeline, right? Then each item is going to have a different return timeline. Then each item is going to have a different refund request and timeline. Now, this is a very distorted experience. So a customer is not even able to experience those 3 products, just try them on quickly and figure out what to purchase and what not to purchase. I feel this is where the leveraging of inventory control, quick commerce, or you can say quick delivery and instant returns came into play. So we realized that we're already enabling this. Why not go a step ahead and experiment whether a customer will really fall in love with the entire offline experience brought to their home faster than when they can reach a mall or anywhere else. For example, where we're sitting today, I want to go to Phoenix Market City right now. It's peak Bangalore traffic time. It'll take me 1.5, 2 hours. Why do I need to do that? I can just literally place an order for even 5, 10, 15, 13, 14, 12, whatever number of products I need, and top wear, bottom wear, accessories, whatever I need. And it'll all come to my house in less than 60 minutes, and the delivery rider is going to wait outside for 20, 25 minutes until you try on the products. And you have the complete freedom of keeping all of it, none of it, or partially. So the experience is so good, and this is what we've generally seen, that a good percentage of our transactions have gone to try and buy. And once if a customers try and buy, they generally don't go to any model of delivery at all. Not even our instant 60-minute delivery on 7 days later return. No, they stick to try and buy.
Okay, so I heard that you guys don't spend on marketing.
No, I think it's not true that we don't spend on marketing. We just spend less on marketing is the real truth.
How less? Like, and what's the philosophy behind it?
I think when we raised our pre-seed, I think one thing a lot of our angels and folks had told us was that when you're trying to achieve an early PMF, try and keep your spends much low. It gives you a more realistic answer because, and it's actually true because I think in this market, burn and earn is a very easy concept. So if by any chance you've been able to raise some cash, you can burn it quickly and get to some place very quickly. But eventually, does that answer your question around PMF, your customer love? Maybe not, right? Because a lot of it is driven by discounts, ads, etc.
Yeah.
I think what we wanted to ensure in our early days is that we spend extremely minimum amounts both on discounts and on our digital ads, overall digital spends for that matter, etc. So that we get a more realistic answer in terms of whether we're able to scale organically or not, whether this proposition is strong enough for a customer to refer another customer. In fact, for the first couple of months, we didn't even have a referral program. There was, I mean, 0 pennies on
Wow.
referring another customer. And yet we were able to scale month on month for the first 4 or 5 months or so. And we might have slowed down our expansion, but we actually got really, really good users and we allowed our users to actually get more users. And that worked out in our favor. And that actually gave us our real answers in terms of repeat and retention, which is our holy grail, which I would say is our holy grail for the business.
AI is the hot term right now. So I'm very curious to understand, does AI factor into the entire Slikk ecosystem? How do you sort of approach that?
AI does come into play for us. And in fact, at some really core parts. In fact, we already have a team in-house which is focusing on optimizing the platform for users, from an experience angle. I'll probably give you one of those use cases. This is something no traditional marketplace has ever done in fashion and lifestyle category, but we're using AI very heavily to hyper-personalize multiple discovery pages, home pages for users post understanding what is their philosophy of buying in terms of what designs do they like, what patterns do they like, what is the right size for them from a, because every brand has a different size chart, what size might fit to them, etc. What color do they more buy, what price point products do they buy. So using a lot of metrics and data modeling, we intend to hyper personalize a lot of steps in the digital journey of the customer on our app to actually make the conversion much better. So that is one of the places where it plays a very important role. The second place where we intend to use it and will play a very important role is basically prediction of trends and styles, which we spoke about, right? So AI, at least in a business like mine, I think can be used at multiple places in the digital journey to ensure that the customer experience is much better. Thus, eventually, the conversion is much better. And that is all driven by one single thing, is the customer. See, at the end of the day, your app from an e-commerce front is a limited real estate. It's a small real estate, right? You cannot see more than 6 to 8 products in a single scroll.
Yeah.
So how do you make it much easier for a customer to discover products is where I feel that AI would play a very, very significant role. Post understanding a customer's requirements based on either previous buying history or based on what they're browsing, searching, looking for.
Let's talk about team at this point, right? Like, you have your 2 hours into launch, you have the first 100 customers. The 2 days, I'm sure, are chaotic. I remember reading in one of your LinkedIn posts that you were packing the orders yourself. You were up till 4 a.m. I hear that there was a bed in your office at some point that you were sleeping on. So, so let's take all of that and say, early team, what is that looking like?
I think there was no early team. I think the only early team I had was, I mean, alongside my two co-founders, Bipin and Om, I think we had one intern for operations. We had one tech intern, and I think we had one girl for marketing. That's it. I think that was the initial team for the first, I would say, 2 to 3 months. And I remember when we were closing the first set of brands and they were shipping their products, and our office come warehouse, it was just the same thing. It was a 450 square feet space we were operating out of, and we didn't even have racks at that time. The money hadn't been wired by our investors at that time. So, but we'd started working on it. every piece of box which had clothes in it used to be carried by us because couldn't. I mean, we didn't have office boys, etc. at that time, and warehouse guys. So Bipin, Om, and I, and the interns and the marketing girl, everybody, in fact, for that matter, has carried boxes on their shoulders till the third floor in HSR, where our building was.
I'm assuming the elevator is not allowed.
The elevator during work hours are of course not allowed. So carrying those boxes, literally unpacking things, entering everything on an Excel, right from making the catalog to uploading inventory amount, inventory counts, to doing their work during the day and also servicing orders in between work. So it used to be order assigned to any employee whenever an order would come in.
Wow.
So whoever it's assigned to, that employee has to go pick and pack the item and then get back to their work, passing it on to the rider. So I think, and I think it's very important, and we still emphasize on most of our team. I mean, the team is still not that big. We're just about 20, 25 people, but then in the office. But I still feel that each and everybody is still asked to spend a day or two in the warehouse when they join in. Everybody is still asked to talk to customers from a support standpoint to get a feeler of what's going right and wrong in the company and what do we do best, what do we not. We still ask every new joinee to sort of, speak to a couple of brands and understand how do we build it better. So that is how we intend to see the team, and it's very nice to see the team grow from just 3-4 full-time folks, including the founders, to about, I would say, 7x, 8x, and which we intend to take to about 10 to 15x in the next 2 to 3 months. So that is where we're at.
I feel like it's also what gives you that depth of learning and the product and consumer understanding to some level, and it's probably what a larger organization usually lacks, right? Like, you don't get to spend, the departments are so segregated that you don't know what is happening between one and the other. You guys are 3 co-founders who started this. In fact, I'm curious, saying, was it one person's idea, then it got built? Do you know who came up with the thought?
I think they're way elder to me, and they have a lot more experience than me. I think I'm the notorious one. So I remember, and in fact, but just to give you a background, Bipin, Om, and I have worked in 2 organizations together.
Oh, wow.
Purfuel and Amazon both. So I knew them for quite some time. We'd worked on the same deals for quite some time, same clients for quite some time. So we all knew each other's skill set. So, and I was the one who used to keep brainstorming ideas and taking it to different people in the team, both at Amazon and in the previous organization, and keep discussing them. This time I was fixated that this is what I want to do. So took this idea, and I knew, got some feedback, but I knew that to build this, I think while I have a very strong business forte, I needed somebody who just excels at product and tech, and then has been doing it for quite some time and can instinctively built it much better for me. Bipin and Om, I'd worked with for almost, I would say 4 years, 3.5, 4 years minimum. So I knew their skill sets already.
Right.
So, and they sort of liked me because I was younger and more energetic. So it was easier for me to convince them. And thankfully, I mean, even before we started the journey, we somewhat knew that our skill sets would match and we'd be able to work together in extreme harmony. So we all know where to give each other the leverage to make a decision independently rather than intervening in between it. And wherever we feel like debating, we debate it out.
Yeah. Is there a reason that startups often start with Bangalore and not with a Bombay or a Delhi?
See, honestly, I shouldn't be answering this question. My mother's from Bombay. I don't want to say anything bad. But then, no, I think there's a general perception that, and even I believe in it, that it's easier to have and create more power users, tech power users in Bangalore compared to any other city in India to start with. And you look at most of the consumer internet companies, they've started their operations in Bangalore, right? That's one. So easy to get power users. Second, I would say from a hiring and a team perspective, I think people are slightly more hungry over here because they've seen the entire journey of how does wealth creation really happen and how does a startup create larger differentiators in extremely less amount of time. I think a lot of people, both from corporate and from late-stage startup companies, have sort of realized that. So it's much easier to hire over here. So I feel if you can build a great team in a particular city and you have users who tech enabled at quite some extent, what more can you ask for in terms of building your business? Plus, Bangalore rentals are cheaper than Bombay rentals. So yeah, I think I'd stick to that.
If I'm a young entrepreneur who wants to launch my own quick com app,
Sure.
and I am your college junior from Christ, and I've come to you for help, how do I do it? And what category should I launch in? Like, I don't know if there's a medicine quick com app, like, please help me launch a quick com app.
Interesting. Don't launch in fashion and lifestyle is what I'd say first. But then I think, as you very rightly said, I think food is almost done. Grocery is done. Fashion and lifestyle has already, the flywheel has started. Pharma is still left. I would say there are one or two traditional players trying to do this, but there's no organized player from a quick commerce angle which has been able to build a solid supply and a serviceability experience. So I would say you can pick up pharma. In terms of how to build it, I think even I'm a early age founder, but then if I had to tell you what areas to focus on, I think you really, really need to focus on supply, especially in a category wherein you're hosting products in your dark store, etc. I think your supply needs to be absolutely solid, right? Second is parity of pricing, right? I think consumers are damn smart today. They understand the price difference in between marketplaces at every SKU level, at every unit level. So ensure, figure out how do you maintain price parity at a unit level, SKU level there. And third, that you building a serviceability experience which is far better than any existing player in the market, because if you're going to get into the same game as anyone else, I mean, it's not really going to help. And fourth, be very clear with your GTM. I think it's very easy to ideate, but it's very hard to build a GTM which you can implement hardcore. So I would say focus on your supply, serviceability, and pricing. I think you would be able to figure out a model which might actually work.
Let's say I'm in a cusp in my career where I need to pick between a full-time job, a FAANG job, versus becoming an entrepreneur. How would you go about it? Like, if you had to, again, advise me as a college senior, is job right for me? Is entrepreneurship right for me?
Yeah, I think it's a very personal opinion. But let me give you some, and I genuinely feel that both, especially jobs for that matter, I think full-time jobs are amazing. I think they're really, really good. And entrepreneurship is not built for everybody. It seems extremely fancy and lucrative, but I always tell people this, it'll always be harder than you think. So if I have to mention some pros and cons, because it's a very personal choice, I would say if you want a stress-free or a low-stress life, and your ambition is to have a very stable and I mean, if you've studied well, if you work hard, of course, you make money. But if you don't want to do wealth creation, you want a much more stable life and a fulfilling life, and you want to learn well on somebody else's account, because at the end of the day, your company is paying you, and if you're a fast learner, you're learning on somebody else's paycheck. I think full-time roles, full-time jobs are really not bad. And people generally end up making decent amount of money at decent companies. But if at the same time you are okay living with uncertainty, high stress levels, and you enjoy risks, and you enjoy hitting your head on the wall again and again until you figure things out, and you have the knack for solving problems, I think entrepreneurship is a fair thing to give a shot. You should at least give it a shot once in your life and see whether you really enjoy the journey or not. Because eventually you can figure out more problem statements to solve for. But this journey is either too disastrous or way too much fun for some people. So people who are ready to make certain personal sacrifices, who are ready to or who are ready to manage certain stress levels and risks, I think for them this journey is just built for. I think you should just don't, I mean, Of course, think about your savings and your family, etc. But if you feel you're in a safe position and you don't have a lot of liabilities in life, just jump in and give it a shot and solve some problem statements at large.
I feel like that's a great college senior answer for me. Like I feel heard that I can take both and still make it in life. So
Yeah.
I think that's a very nice note to end things on. Thank you so much for joining us, Akshay.
Absolutely.
This was a
Thanks,
pleasure.
Hari.
Lots of learnings.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, and good luck with all your rounds of raising and growing Slikk into hopefully coming to Bombay soon.
Awesome, Hari. Thanks for the conversation. Lovely
Pleasure.
chat.